Okay, today we're going to show you what these UHMW strips look like that I've added. I've added one on each edge of the right main slide out, and I have cycled this slide over 100 times, and you can look up in here and see where the leading edge of the UHMW strip is sitting just off of the white wear bar, and there's a beveled edge there cut at 37 degrees, and you can take a look and see the countersunk number 12 wood screws that I use, 3/4 inches long, and you can see that the after 100 cycles all of the screw heads are still nice and flush, and there is no wearing around the screw hole edges. They're countersunk, just so that the screw head sits just a little bit below the flush, so that it's not going to drag on the white wear bar that you see here. This is another shot of the slide out Darco material that I repaired, and we're looking at the back end of the slide forward, and you can see the one strip here, and you can see that it is done real well, and you can see the rest of the Darco material underneath the entire slide looks very good. And we'll move around to the front edge so that you can have a look at that repair with the UHMW strip as well. Okay, we are now at the front edge of the slide out that I repaired the torn Darco on, and you can see the UHMW strip. It's 36 inches long. That's what I determined I needed for this particular slide. And we'll run up forward, and you can see the white wear bar, and we'll remove this weather seal a little bit, and you can look up and you can just barely see the beveled edge right here where my finger is pointing to. The edge of the front of that strip is beveled at 37 degrees, and the very first two screws that hold this strip in are sitting about 1.5 inches back. That's as close as I could get them due to the frame right here. There was no way for me to get up in here and drill a hole any closer, and after 100 cycles of this slide, you can see that the front edge of that strip is nice and tight, and you can see that there's no tearing or anything like that on the wear bar or the UHMW strip. These screws are also countersunk, and they're just a little bit below the surface level, and you can see that there's no issues there, no signs of any wearing or anything like that. And we'll take another look from the front to the back of this slide out, and you can see that the rest of the Darco material looks very good. And when I installed these UHMW strips, first I put them on temporarily with a few screws to test and see how that was going to work. Very satisfied how it worked, so reinstalled it, and I used black Proflex and ran a bead underneath, all the way underneath on the edge, all the way around on that, and then held the UHMW strip up and installed it with screws. And I used the Proflex sealant to prevent any moisture from wicking underneath that UHMW strip and causing potential problems with the exposed flooring that these strips are covering up. I chose to make this repair using the two UHMW strips just over the edges of the Darco material that had been damaged. Exactly why both edges decided to fray is unknown, but I will say that the material did very well, and I did not have any fraying until late last year on our last trip out, and that's when we started seeing some fraying. And as you can see, the rest of the Darco material still looks excellent. This Alpine was built in 2014, and it's May of 2021, so it's done very good. I went ahead and did this type of repair I wanted to see if it would be cost effective and if it would be a solid lasting repair. I'm very satisfied with it, and the only other option would have been to take it somewhere to an RV shop. They would have pulled the entire slide completely out of the Alpine and then put new Darco flooring on the bottom, and estimate on that was a little over $2,000 and probably about a month to 2 months sitting at an RV shop. And I was not going to spend that kind of money to repair this, and was not going to leave the Alpine sit for 3 months. I've done all my repairs on this Alpine since the day that I've owned it. It's only been to the shop one time, and that was about 2 weeks after we first bought it. And my intent is to maintain it myself and keep the Alpine out of the RV shops, and I'll pocket the money that I'm not paying them for their outrageous labor rates. They're running anywhere from $125 to $150 an hour in some of these shops, and quite frankly, that's just ridiculous.